World Championship. Now Acno and Blaze are like, well, they're going to get second place at the Winter Championship too, because they are coming in winner's side of the Grand Finals.
We're going to find out right now if Acno and Blaze are able to get that W, and they are a massive threat at that, of course. Definitely why I leaned into them potentially going into winning this whole thing today is the fact that you don't just have something like BCX happen and not have a massive chip on your shoulder going into this. You know the preparation was high, and they are coming in here hot.
Yeah, they've definitely practiced a lot of things. In particular, the cannon has been that thing that Acno's been trying the most, and you're seeing him started off with that Sidra pick. On the other side, no messing around on Fozey. He is going in straight into that Zariel for game number 1, but the damage is definitely in the red team's favor.
Yeah, just missing on a KO there from that D-Sync, but they do get a KO instead onto Blaze, who had amazing control, but still, Acno now falling. A good dip away, an amazing punish right there from Blaze to make sure he punishes him for that.
I love that follow-up from Godly into the Eden Sig. I also love that side Sig from Acno to get back on the stage and swing onto Fozey. Of course, we expected these two teams to be evenly matched, but you can see their health even as well as Acno hits that recovery.
And Acno swinging right back. This is, I mean, this should not be a long set by any means. These matches should fly. As you see, the stock's already flying right now. Acno currently at the bottom. It doesn't matter though. Acno sitting on his third stock still for quite some time, refusing to give it up.
And you got to give credit to Blaze there. Fozey had the signature on Acno, and Blaze comes in, down airs, and keeps the teammate alive. Acno putting out extra damage, thanking his lucky stars that he can swing more with this first stock.
Even with that first stock finally falling, they instead still get Godly first. And look at how much damage they applied onto Fozey too. And even before, when Acno was in that deep red, he was still off stage trying to catch that double dare. He was pressuring, but this matters a ton. They got rid of Blaze when they needed to as well. So even with that defense, we're back to an even game. Even though Fozey is damaged quite a bit, it's not as bad of a lead now.
Yeah, they still are playing from behind, but they gotta find a way to get that damage advantage, or at least tie up that damage department. Fozey, you're seeing him play very safe. He does not want to fall and leave Godly in that 1v2, but it's already kind of risking that 1v2 by playing so far back.
And Godly is that big threat, of course, to just pop off at any given time. Well, they need it right now. Godly needs to find something soon onto Acno, but Blaze is also a massive menace to keeping Acno safe, as you've seen, but he does finally get caught for going for the anchor in a way closer game now.
Oh, and the team combo, but I don't think Godly's side sig connected there. Might have released a little too early on that one. It was enough to get this damage basically back. This could go either way. Is it going to be Godly or Blaze who falls? But Blaze with the edge guard. Acno eats the ground pound.
Fozey going out there too, but the weapon toss gets him out, and Godly still holding on to this stock. Blaze has been taking a decent amount of damage, and so has Acno, so Godly picking up exactly where they needed. Godly completely unarmed, trying to get through, but there's Fozey just body blocking at the moment to allow him to try and sneak on.
Man, Fozey must drive a manual because he is hitting that clutch as he hits the side light. Doesn't hit the recovery though. Acno going for the turnaround. Godly with the down air. Who's going to fall? It's going to be Godly. Fozey makes it a trade.
Oh my goodness, he has shifted it into final gear at this moment. Blaze sitting on that last stock, and he has a lot of damage applied because of how well Fozey kept Godly alive. They were able to apply enough damage to get Acno first.
Yo, he's got everything going for him. He's got the damage, he's got the health, he's got the neutral lights, which we saw him KO with earlier, but Blaze now has that lance in hand.
Fozey continuing to just play. I mean, both of these players right now in a beautiful spot to try and get that W when Acno and Acno is usually the one you talk about. Godly's the one you usually talk about, but these two are that defensive 2v2 player of the year category players. As we see the KO come through, Fozey once again getting yet another W for the blue team when they needed it most.
It's so funny because like the discussion has shifted to like which one of them is the best EU 2v2er, and that's them like kind of battling for that title.
Like the tug of war also between the greatest support that you could ever ask for between Blaze and Fozey has been incredible. Going back and forth between the two. Fozey really picking it up a ton, and Godly refusing to give up that stock made a big difference, because if he didn't, then we're looking at a 2v1 on the Fozey, but instead it is game number 2 with Godly and Fozey in the lead.
And we're seeing the change over to Fortress of Lions. No character swaps on either side though. Acno still sticking with that Sidra. We did see the Onyx earlier, and Godly's already going in. The team combos starting to put up the damage onto Acno.
Acno just trying to sneak his way above, but at the moment, that is a pretty awkward spot for Godly. Gonna sneak his way back underneath, though, because of Fozey being right in between the two. Couldn't really commit to a neutral light, and it's going to be Acno who falls first.
Oh, Fozey just off the mark with that neutral air. Could have seen that team combo convert into a KO, but they're still getting some great damage put out onto the red team. Fozey's in position. Godly with the nair into the recovery. Fozey backs away.
That was like max distance off of that Punisher with that neutral light to get a combo going. So they're still getting them. Meanwhile, here's Blaze in a weird spot. Both of them in a weird spot, missing out on the ground pound. Fozey gonna box his way out. Gets back up from the recovery. Acno does fall. Excuse me, Acno did not fall. Godly fell, but Acno's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, take a look at the Blaze and Fozey stocks again. They have been holding it down.
Dude, they are finding the stock extensions. I was just baffled by the unarmed plays from Fozey, though. Like, he was sweat beating, and rather than go to the stage, he's looking for ground pounds, looking for hits, looks for a nair to hit Godly back up so he can get back onto the wall, and he's still living on that initial stock.
This is my mode. This is my game, and you're trapped in here with me. Fozey doesn't care, but Fozey does finally fall. Meanwhile, Acno sporting only one stock left. Acno, however, is one of the more difficult people to edge guard, so I think if he wants to try and play that sidewall camp game to allow them to get some damage on the blue team, it might not be so bad.
Yeah, we've definitely seen him take that backline role before and let Blaze kind of go in, be that initiator. Interesting options there from Acno as he hits the downlight, which is a combo starter, but he is going to convert into a side air onto Godly.
There's that backline gameplay right there. As soon as he saw the ability to blitz, he ran right through, got a Godly, and now we're at an even game.
Yeah, when you give him the ball, he can make some plays, and he's keeping that stock count even. Acno is still the most damaged, though. He's still the target of the blue team.
You already know those rushing yards are picking up for him a ton, but currently the defense is picking up for the blue team. They haven't taken too much damage in a while. That's not going to be a KO off the top recovery just yet. Gets Godly by accident in the middle of that, though. Doesn't matter as they recovery. Does get rid of Blaze.
That's still keeping the lead in favor of the blue team. Acno eats the weapon toss. Blaze is in position. Gonna try to help out. Acno taking his time. You saw him just kind of hold. As Blaze comes in, he can't hit the Sair to keep Acno alive.
Rare movement management from Acno. He kind of just jumped right into that. But you take that every day, and now this is 3-stock lead. You got to do it. 2 weapon tosses over. Gets away, but that, after the sweat beads, it was pretty much a free guaranteed punish. And Godly and Fozey 1 game away from getting that reset.
The 2 big things to call out for that game right there. Fozey, so good with those bow and zigs, leaded to both of those KOs, right? That one on Acno and this time on Blaze. You see it in both clips. And then, of course, we've talked about Godly's walk-off ground pounds, but he does it again. He's so good at pulling those out at the last minute when you get just a little too close to the corner.
You know what's going to happen, and you still get hit by it. That's how good these players are, no matter which way you do it. But that one, of course, perfectly positioned by them. And, wow, wasting no time. We're right back into it swinging, but we have switched off. You mentioned it earlier. It's something we're not unused to seeing. We're going to see Acno go over to the old faithful Koji.
Yeah, this is kind of a scary position for Acno, though. He's the one who came in with this kind of new pick with that Onyx, with that Sidro, with the cannon, and now he's kind of going back to the old classics, and it makes me a little nervous for his mental, because if this doesn't work, he's going to go to the Bryn, and if that doesn't work, then things start to get scary.
And it's really, that is the engineer's blueprint. Like, did you put enough duct tape on? No. Okay. Did you switch to Bryn? No. Okay. And they do have data collecting time, at least. They are currently down 2 games, so that depends on whether they feel reserved to just give up this first one. But Acno not feeling that way as he gets the first KO, not only on Fozey, but the double KO as well on Godly.
And that's why he swapped over to the Koji, proving me wrong, utilizing that bow to great effect, had the side air for the edge guard and the distance with the down light, but does get called out there by the side air from Godly.
Blaze, meanwhile, holding on to this first stock, and this is axe swinging ranges right now. When you are currently that deep in damage, you have 2. Swing, make them try to get hit just to get that slight damage on.
Yeah, those neutral lights are going to add up to a KO onto Blaze, and they're keeping this one even.
Acno able to get over to the sword, immediately box him away. There's Blaze to try and volley off, but doesn't really have too much to follow up. Meanwhile, they're swinging again. Acno in a weird spot. Godly going out there trying to capitalize, but Blaze got in the way to make him have to change his mind.
Acno hits the side stick. He even charged that one for the little bit of extra force on that second swing. Team combo connects onto Fozey. Fozey gets launched up into the air, and he's taking a lot of damage.
Nice 3-piece. There goes the save from Blaze, getting him out of, getting Acno out of that combo. Meanwhile, Fozey's getting right on D-Light Crown Pound just to separate him.
Oh, the launch from Blaze. Immediate rotate over towards Godly.
You got everybody who's in the 2-stock windows currently deep in the red. That's 1, that's 2, and Blaze could join them very soon. Godly, meanwhile, is currently sitting at that 1. He needs to just get his damage in, which is exactly what they did last game. Even when he was behind, they're all at 1 stock apiece here, and he clutched up when they needed to allow Fozey to get to basically win that game.
Yeah, the question is if he can do it twice in a row. This one would lead to a reset and a final best of 5. Edge guard opportunity. Acno comes in, but it's on to Fozey.
Godly putting himself right between the two, sandwiching himself so they can maybe hit each other. But Fozey's defense avoiding the recoveries. That recovery will find its mark, but not take out Godly yet.
Not quite enough, but Godly cannot afford too many more of those. Hits a side air, backs away. Fozey trying to be that middleman. Blaze with the punish. Acno with the follow-up, and now it's left to Fozey in the 1v2.
Acno switch over to Koji's been looking phenomenal. They are currently 1 stock away from stopping what would be a straight-up 3-0. Start the possibility of a reverse 3-0 here, but it's looking way better.
Dude, Fozey is threading needles. He is diving between everything. Turnaround side sig.
Bro,
Blaze with the soft punish, but the nair.
Finally, somebody was able to shut down Fozey in that position. It seems like when he's in the 2v1, it's like, come on, bring it. It doesn't matter. He's swinging right back. He's made people feel more uncomfortable when he is the only one left than them being in a 2v1. But it is Acno and Blaze. Once they saw the bird resources, free punish with that nair that puts them on the board here 2-1.
Yeah, Fozey trapped in the corner is a scary Fozey, man. He is just like starts swinging. He is windmilling his arms, and just if you get in the way, you're gonna get hit. But we're going into game number 4. No surprise to see Acno sticking with that Koji.
Not at all. Yeah, it was that was the difference maker for sure. The KOs were way more on the money. Not only that, but look at the anti-air game he's had. He's just prevented them from getting any safe movement in.
Yeah, he's been hitting those juggles, and he controls a lot of space. Again, that bow downlight's so effective, and he's also utilizing those SIGs like that to cover a lot of space.
You gotta pump the brakes, too. Yeah. You literally can't do anything. That does allow Blaze also to position himself on that soft platform to cover any jump overs. I think that's just one of the most dangerous parts about these two. Their positional control, especially since the switch over to Koji, has just gone up so much.
Oh, Fozey catches the teammate with the N-Sig, and the follow-up from Blaze leads to 2 KOs in favor of the red team.
Oh boy, all of a sudden things are starting to derail a little bit. Not a lot, but when you have moments like that and you give that to a team like Acno and Blaze, they're going to capitalize with a lot of damage before they give up these first ones.
N-Sig from Fozey, side sig from Fozey.
Looks like they're making me a whole liar at the moment. If they could go ahead and catch Acno, does not get the dare. Acno trying to reverse it right now. Recovery at least sends them out of there. But they were swinging right back.
Yeah, and you can see Acno. He's like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to chill out here for a little bit. Sit on that right side as Godly sneaks underneath with the ground pound. But the damage is still being done. Look at Godly's health as it ticks closer to red.
And Godly is always in the fray. That's why he takes so much damage all the time. He's always right there boxing with everyone, but Godly getting sent super far away here. Duke is not going to get caught up, but he does get caught by the D-Light recovery. Not enough yet.
Oh, but the N-Sig from Acno actually catches Blaze there. Godly gets past all of it, hits both with the sideline, and ends up going for a chase dodge recovery. Nair from below from Acno. He was chasing below Godly.
That was so good for a chase from Godly for so long. He was target shifting. He went to the opposite way, recovered the other way. So even though Blaze got the knockout, look how much damage he was able to apply to Acno at least before he did fall.
Yeah, Godly making sure he's extending these stocks, trying to make it so this one stays close as Fozey goes for the edge guard, doesn't hit the ground pound. Acno eats the N-Sig, but he's got enough health.
And Fozey sitting there just trying to sneak his way over towards Acno, but Acno boxing him away. Meanwhile, they're looking for some straight hit damage. Does not catch him at the bottom, but here comes Blaze chasing him as well, going all the way up there trying to catch him, but Godly smartly going to the left.
Blaze's axe plays just popping off onto Godly right now. Team combo opportunity into the N-Sig. They need as much as they can get, but Fozey can't get the follow-up. Godly eats the bow, and it's all left to Fozey.
All right, this is exactly where Fozey has been before. He falls here, but take a look at the damage markers. You have Acno at straight hit territory. Blaze is within maybe 1 neutral loss to getting into KO windows. That's 1. Can he get some damage on the Blaze right now? Blaze try to sneak away, and he does.
Yeah, Blaze going to make sure that he doesn't fight without the teammate there, as Acno has so much health to play with. Fozey with a great spot dodge, avoids the side air.
All right. Oh, that's a...
Oh, the interrupt, though.
If Acno did not get in there quick enough, that would have easily been a free punishment, possibly a stock against Blaze.
That's one thing that's really tough for Zariel in those 1v2s is Acno.
Oh my
with
God.
a big edge guard.
That was like surging into ER saying, all right, we're done here within 2 minutes. That is the person you want to pay to get the job done. That was so well executed by Acno. And also, once again, they stopped Godly and Fozey from getting the reset. They have now forced us to a Game 5. And to be honest, Duke, when we see these two teams show up, we usually start preparing mentally for the fact we're probably going to a Game 10 in many aspects, but that depends, of course, if the reverse 3-0 just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was critical of the Koji, but Acno really proven me wrong. On the other side now, it's on Fozey and Godly. Are they going to make the swap? Is Fozey going to go back?
It's crazy because you can't even say like the meme though. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game because the Koji for so long. It's like, you know what? I was familiar, but I was hating. I'm sorry. And sometimes you need that hate. But you're right, though. Considering the fact that the Cannon was so good all day, it makes sense to stay on the Cannon Legends. He didn't play this at all, but the Koji swap has really made such a huge difference.
It really has. I mean, his bow plays in particular have just been on point. Sure, he's got the sword that he was using on the Sidra, but really, it all comes down to this bow play. But this is Game 5. This is the decider between a champion title or a reset.
We're on lines. It's time to show if we got some courage to see who's going to be the one to take the whole W here. Fozey, meanwhile, going for a ground pound right in the midst of everyone. Doesn't really get punished too hard. And also, speaking of Fozey with that ground pound, he has swapped back over. We saw the swap earlier, too, away from the Zarya when it wasn't working.
Yeah, he likes this Orion. He's so good at utilizing those signatures of both characters, but now he's got that big swing and hitbox. Nice follow-up, goes off stage for the down line, and the end sig to finish it off. Acno took so much damage that the second down sig closes it out.
Where was the Orion before? You should have just switched shooter. They are already up massively. Fozey doesn't fall right there either, so Fozey holding on to this. One straight hit essentially gets rid of him, as it will do it right there. But now it's on the red team. They have to speedrun a stock.
Yeah, they have to find a way to steal a stock away because the blue team have already done one.
Godly just getting in the middle, just simply breaking up combos. That is the most key factor right now. You know the win condition for the red team is A, minimize damage as much as possible, or B, try to make one disappear fast. And that's what looks like they might make an opportunity here. Godly sneaks his way out. There's Fozey, though, the body block.
Yeah, good rotation from Fozey to make sure that it's not just a 2v1 on the edge guard. Everybody makes it back safely.
Very rare occasion for these two, but that is a lot of follow-ups on the Godly, and that damage has been minimized a bit. There goes Godly. Blaze is taking some damage, but look at Acno, who hasn't been hit too much since those early stocks.
Yeah, he's definitely extended the stock. He knows that he needs to keep this one going to keep the dream alive, but he gets away from it.
Fozey just trying to get in the middle of the fray. He is the one on borrowed time here, so he's just trying to get some extra damage while he can. Acno boxing him off with the neutral air, and now all of a sudden you're at D-Light recovery, so you can't go try to challenge him too much.
He's got to pick and choose when he wants to go in, but he can't let Godly take too much damage there. Blaze swinging on Godly as Fozey has to make that long trek back.
You can see, like, the main focus here is Fozey's trying to get to Acno, and Acno's trying to bait Fozey.
Godly!
While they're trying to fight, but that is a huge drop! All of a sudden for Godly going down, and now they have a 2v1. Fozey forced once again to show that he's capable of clutching this out.
Dude, Acno went down to his final stock so early, but it's Godly who ends up losing it first. You gotta respect those edge guards from Acno.
Fozey looking for the DC, got the ledge. Acno just making sure he gets back up. Target shifting, trying to catch Acno jumping, but he won't. Acno's still not jumping in front of him, and they don't find the combo starter, but that's a lot of damage on both players on the red.
Yeah, there's definitely a real possibility here. Fozey's got some help to play with, but he's going for some risky plays there with the ground pound. Team combo, it's just going to be the side sig.
Fozey starting to take some more straight hit damage, but Fozey just needs one good play on either one of them. Blaze could fall here if he makes a mistake. Blaze sneaking his way around. Acno getting back access to the sword.
Fozey hits the Sair. It's left to Acno in the 1v1. Fozey eats a Sair from behind. Weapon denied.
This is the difference between a reset or Acno and Blaze taking it all right now. Spear is in the hand, tries to get the anti-air, but does not find it. Fozey waiting for Acno, but Acno weapon tosses away. He wants to get access to that sword, Duke, so he can try and simplify the KO options. Recovery won't be enough yet.
Fozey's going to deny some weapons. Where's the weapon spawn? Acno goes in. Side air, not enough. Acno is living so long, but it's not long enough. We've got to reset.
Fozey continues to prove that he is a contender for best 2v2 player in all of EU and potentially the game. He brings it back one more time. Multiple 2v1 comebacks throughout the day, and this one being the most important as he now forces that reset here in Grand Finals.
Somebody's got to check this man's garage because every car has got the clutch. He is clutching those 1v2s time and time again.
That drip game about to go up higher as well because the money in the bank is looking a little bit better. Possibly might find that Grand Finals victory and the switch over to the Orion. Look at that 511 damage done on that spear. It was a massive problem and a big amount of damage done for Blaze too. Blaze was so well, you couldn't have asked for better from Blaze when Acno fell twice early. You got to think back to the fact too, when you look at that graph, Acno fell so early really quick, but then look over at Godly too in a very similar position. It feels like Acno and Godly are just right in the middle of everyone throwing hands, but you can't do that in front of Blaze or Fozey. They are just such strong support on these two teams.
The thing I'm staring at is that graph of Acno in particular, that really short stock where he got team comboed and got taken out, and then he holds on to that third stock longer than Godly, longer than Blaze, and now it's the reset. Fozey ends up clutching out, but this is what I was talking about, right? Once Acno loses that loses on the Koji, does he make the swap over to the Bryn, which is kind of like the deepest pocket pick he can go?
I mean, to be honest, after that last game, it was mostly just kind of got caught off in the beginning, but he brought it all the way back. That I don't want to see it switch. I don't really want to see it switch off because it looked really good towards the end. I feel like you might be on the money if we do see that switch. That's where the mentality is starting to kick in. It's like, oh, wow, it was this. I have to go to a different game plan. I don't think you should. I think you should absolutely stay on that, even though you lost that game. It was down to the wire, and that was after you losing very early 2 stocks to still hold on the whole time.
Yeah, I would definitely respect any decision he makes at this point because, like, the Koji looked amazing. Actually, okay, not any decision. I would not respect the Bryn pick because I'd be like, why? But, I mean, not that Bryn's a bad pick, but it's just like we said, kind of a mental boom if he's going down to the Bryn. But if he goes back to the Sidra, I'd respect it. If he goes back to the Onyx, I respect it. You know, good picks all around, but I think the Koji's looking solid right now. Yeah,
I think if anything, you go to what was working for you before. But to be fair as well, the decisions being made by this man who has sported so many W's in the past, sometimes it's just the way he feels, and that's going to work. And there's good reason why you saw in that graph earlier how many championships they have won together. So could be a bit of a difference as they're currently taking some time to try to figure out what they're going to do next. Remember, this is reset time, everybody. So if you thought the tournament was over, it is not. That has now knocked Acno and Blaze into the elimination side of bracket. Godly and Fozey looking like they might get yet another W on that win record, try and move it back to their favor out of that 3-2 range. Now it is 3-3, so one of these two gets that win record, but no switches, which I'm pretty happy about, to be honest. I think it was phenomenal on all parties involved, and I'm very glad also to see that Fozey is staying on the Orion because Azario got figured out. The Orion has not yet.
The Orion was interesting in the sense of, like, in Winners Final, when he made the swap to the Orion, didn't really work. But this time it did. He was hitting those SIGs. He was hitting those combos off of Godly. I'd be curious to see, again, like, what happens on Lost. That's where you see those big decisions being made.
It's right now we're taking a trip into Miami Dome, so we have some soft platforms in the way to try and mix up some of those landing options. Maybe that might help out Acno and Blaze get away from some of those team combos Blue Team had. And it's still crazy to me to think thematically that Godly is always the one who takes the most damage to start off the match.
Yeah, he just kind of runs in there and just lets the damage fly. And Acno with the tatami mat, Godly goes deep with the ground pound, ends up hitting a lot of people, but nobody falls just yet.
Godly, I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. This man was able to put on a massive amount of strike back there, and it was instead Acno and Fozey who fell first.
Yeah, trying to maybe change it up. They both kind of got into a voice call and were like, hey, how about we let them be the ones to try to clutch this 1v1 at the end?
And hey, look, we've done enough, all right? But there's that consistency of defense from Blaze again. He's just been so good at minimizing the amount of damage he does take, allowing Acno to try and play up front because he knows that he's going to have the support of him in the back.
Yo, Godly comes over for that rotation, though. Puts some threat onto Acno, bullying him away from Fozey. Right now, though, Blaze is the one still sitting on that first stock.
There's Blaze, yeah, and Blaze is right in the fray too. It's not like he's like hiding. He is swinging and breaking up any combos, but Acno falls again. So once again, very similar situation to the previous game, Acno falling early twice.
Now we got to see, will he do the extension again? Will he be able to survive again longer than Godly and Blaze? But there's Fozey, there's Godly.
You know, to be fair, I'm gonna show that I'm gonna apologize for this. I wasn't even paying attention to how much damage the blue team had already taken prior to Acno falling, so it was actually a lot closer. The big thing here is that Blaze is taking so little damage that you kind of look away from the fact that Acno fell because everyone else is playing an even game except for Blaze.
Yeah, and I think Fozey started to recognize that. He was really putting out the hurt onto Blaze for a second there. Team combos again coming out from the red team. Just some quick burst as the NSIG hits the teammate.
Yeah, you thought that Godly was going to line him up into it, but you were right. Fozey target shifted over to Blaze, and they obliterated that stock. Now all of a sudden, everybody's back to an even playing field.
Yo, but Blaze comes back just in time to eat the ground pound from Godly and keep Acno alive.
Acno trying to get in there, break that up, but of course, there goes Fozey, and to go and separate them again. Godly, the biggest fear factor for everybody so far is how good Godly's been on last stock in the red. It's not the first couple stocks, it's when he's in this position.
Yo, Fozey, he's playing like a man on fire. He is so hungry to just put out damage. He wants to make sure he is the most damaging person on the screen, and he's doing it.
First and second place, difference between potential steak or McDonald's. Just depends on what you want to do. Right now, he is hungry for that dub as he gets the calls out. Amazing job from Godly again. I cannot believe that it's like he hits slow start. Anybody who knows what I talk about Reggie Gigas, the slow start, nothing happens at the beginning, half the attack power, chill time, sadness. But then all of a sudden, becomes the most powerful force on the screen. So how do you deal with that when he continuously picks up his defense and racks up that damage the way he does as the match goes? We're staying on the same characters here, and so far, before I said I like seeing the Acno Koji stay, Acno needs to survive, though. He's losing these stocks early and often.
Yeah, one thing that's tough about the Acno Koji is it comes in base 4 defense, likely going up to 5, but eats down to second stocks as it falls quickly on the left side.
Oh boy's literally all I could say to that. That was within, what, 10 seconds? 15 seconds tops to have one go away, and they're already chasing Blaze that high up in the sky. Blue team is waking up a ton. We might, I don't know. It's like, what are you seeing about the difference with the blue team so far that's making them play so dominant over these last few games?
It's going to sound really dumb, but like Fozey's just swinging and hitting everything. Like he is not missing many attacks, and Acno falls again on the right side.
So, I'm glad you said it, by the way, because I was looking. It's like I feel like Fozey is swinging a lot, but the coverage that he has from his weapon kit, like Orion just covers so much range, so it still works. But then you have Acno who's giving up early. Meanwhile, Blaze just kind of going to town on Godly, but of course you have momentary relief with that recovery, but still he's not able to get away. Fozey again with the neutral sig. Fozey is going off.
Dude, he is dominating, and you can feel it in the gameplay. He is looking so stinking good as Acno is done for game number 2, and Blaze is going to join him 2-0, and that's 5 stocks left on Godly and Fozey.
Everyone, BCX Fozey has come back. This is what we saw out of Fozey at BCX when he started popping off. Literally, the only team that was able to shut him down was Boomy and Snowy. That's it. Everyone else could not stop Fozey. His clutches were on fire. His team control on fire. Now he's essentially playing by himself in a 4-person game. The damage numbers don't give enough credit. 77 damage done on 70. Did he even get enough for a stock? Then Blaze only did 200. Meanwhile, that 400, it may not seem like a whole lot, but that's because the match went so fast that the KOs were super early.
I mean, like, to further contextualize the absurdity of the damage that Acno did, all 77 of it, Fozey and Godly almost did that much in team damage to each other. 55 on their side. Like, Acno did not get to play Brawlhalla.
Yes. So now my statement earlier of where I said, man, don't switch off the Koji. I am now going to rapidly retract that statement as we do see the switch. It was, not only was it figured out, but it was not getting, it just wasn't doing anything.
Okay, Kaya, I understand the reasoning. Of course, Bo, again, worked really, really well for him until it just wasn't allowed to play in the offstage. Kaya has a little bit more defense than Koji as well. So
yes,
a lot of good things working out for this Kaya. We'll see how well it goes as this is game number 3.
Also mental damage to Godly, because Godly has had not the greatest win record against Kaya in ones. So having it show up here in twos, also the range that Kaya can cover. I feel like you can more safely go for a big play read at the side with the side cancel neutral sigs. And it's also, actually, you know what? I'm just going to go back to simple. You're right. It's the defense. You need to survive right now.
Your defense is definitely helping him out, as Fozey's right now the one already onto the second stock, starting to swing with those down sigs. Godly's throwing out all sorts of sigs, trying to take out these red team members.
Godly joining Fozey in the party of kind of swinging his own, but Fozey, rare occasion, like you said before, on his second stock already. Meanwhile, Blaze joins him. That neutral light is going to take him out. Godly, for a change, on his first stock before everyone else finally lost it. Or actually didn't lose his first stock. Y'all get what I'm saying.
He's the one holding on to the stocks for once for the team. Doesn't jump into the end sig. And Fozey comes in, swinging again onto both red team members.
That was frames off, by the way, of that dare hitting. Feels like Godly's got plot armor going all of a sudden. Just missing, avoiding it KO'd. Team hit right there. Does not get punished for his whiff recovery.
That side sig off the soft platform as well, just chasing after Acno. Little bit of beef between the two of them, and Godly trying to squash Acno.
There's a whole lot of beef on these two teams right here. These are the two contenders for best in EU and contenders for one of the best teams in the world. So it's been phenomenal going back and forth. But here goes Blaze trying to get back down. Very rare. Blaze doesn't usually get put into these bad defensive positions throughout the set.
It is rare for him to struggle, and it's rare for Acno to have to be that person to give the reprieve. He did a great job coming over there with that spear recovery to keep the teammate alive, but Fozey with the end sig will put Blaze onto the final stocks here, and there's a real possibility of Godly and Fozey just closing this out and being crowned the winner champions.
It is possible. There's definitely still doable for Red Team in a small fashion. Granted, Blaze, once again, chase hides in the skies. There goes Fozey. Can they get the reversal onto Godly? Godly sneaking his way back on recovery. Reversal Sair, and that won't be enough yet.
Godly with plenty of movement to get back. He has survived so many of those offstage engagements. Acno, downlight recovery, not quite enough.
Remember we said slow start earlier. Godly was always the one who fell first, and now all of a sudden Godly has activated God mode again. He's finally has to get taken out by his own teammate.
That's going to help out the red team a little bit here, but they're both in the red. This is looking like a blue team dub unless something big comes out soon.
Yeah, there is a world where you catch a really good early offstage play with Kaya and maybe sneak one out, but that depends on if you can find openers first. Currently, the game plan, Duke, seems to be separating the blue team from each other.
Yeah, don't let them stack up, but the N6 from Fozey, it's all left to Acno. Deep red as the end light connects, and Godly and Fozey are your winter champions.
Once again, where it mattered the most, they got the W over Acno and Blaze. Even though they fell in winners finals, there's still an opportunity to get a run back. Not only did they win in the run back, the most crucial time for Acno and Blaze to win was that Game 5 2v1 against Fozey, and they were not able to get the job done. And after that, everything started to derail. Not only did Fozey pop off Game 1, but then all of a sudden, Godly remembered, like, wait a minute, I am him, and he ended up bringing it into not only a dominant fashion W, but he looked good doing it as they sit there on the top of that podium.
You got to give so much credit to Fozey for being able to clutch up in so many situations. Of course, Godly, like, when he's left to his own devices, he's going to pop off, and he had amazing offstage plays throughout today.